the ex-con.
I was incarcerated from 2008 to 2018.
And the prison guard who fell for him.
You met Mr. Cortez while he was serving a prison sentence and where you were a corrections officer.
That is correct.
But doing more time together was a mistake.
He was mad that I was telling him that he needed to leave.
He pushed you, you fell backwards.
She was arguing with me. She put her hands on me.
He has an aggressive side.
This is Judge Judy.
Ms. Carlson, it is your claim that the defendant who was living with you for a period of time owes you for some loans, rent, and an assault.
Yes.
In which you were injured.
Yes.
According to you. Mr. Cortez says that there was never a loan agreement between you for any of the things that you did for him, and that you actually were the initiator of any arguments that occurred between you. Okay, now, you were a corrections officer, and you met Mr. Cortez while he was serving a prison sentence in the prison where you were a corrections officer.
Yes.
And you indicate that you left that job because you didn't want to have any conflict.
Correct.
In what year did you leave that job?
April of 2015.
And Mr. Cortez, from what year to what year were you incarcerated?
I was incarcerated from 2008 to 2018, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, at some point after you were released, you and Ms. Carlson got in touch with each other again. There was also a point where you were living with her. Tell me when that was.
2018.
What month?
July.
And did you sign a lease?
We signed a lease in 2019 of January.
And when did you move out?
May.
When you say May, you said that quizzically. Did you move out in May?
Your Honor, I didn't move out. She called the law enforcement on me, and I got kicked out. Basically, I got booted out of my own residence.
Okay. Is it true that you called the police?
I didn't call the police that time. I actually went to the emergency room, and then he had moved his stuff out. I only got the protection order when for the next 2 weeks, even though his stuff wasn't there, he would pop in whenever he wanted to, all hours of the night.
Okay. So that May he was finally out.
May he was finally out.
Your Honor, but
Now,
it's my residence.
Just a
I
second.
can do what I please.
Well, Mr. Cortez, you can't actually have it both ways. If you're not paying rent there, it's not your residence.
You're only seeing what you want to see, Your Honor.
What?
I know facts. You know, I'm sorry that I didn't bring any.
What I'm saying to you, sir, is if someplace is your residence because you're on a lease and you live there, you also pay rent there.
Yeah, but I can go and stay at my friend's house and come back. That doesn't matter.
Well,
I can do as I please.
Well, you can, and I know that it's probably after 10 years, that's very nice. But Miss Carlson has herself, and I think she has a child that lives with her. Is that right?
She has two.
How old is her child?
She's got an 8-year-old and a 16.
Do they both live with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is unreasonable, Mr. Cortez. Miss Carlson has clearly made a couple of errors in judgment, but it's unreasonable to subject children who are 8 and 16 to adults' unreasonable judgment.
All right.
Okay? But it would be almost a neglect if Miss Carlson didn't try to protect her children from seeing violence, whoever precipitated it, because you're not going to take charge of her children. She has to be with her kids.
So
Do you
then-
understand that?
Can I ask you to answer
Yeah.
me a question, Your Honor?
No,
and
I
why
don't-
didn't she?
no,
Then
I
why
don't-
didn't she move to one of her family members?
I
I live
don't-
2.5 hours away from my family. She had family, friends, and everybody that she could have just gone to, and instead she wants to kick me out on the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Well-
She could have chose to get up and leave. That was my apartment.
Well, that's your perspective, Mr. Cortez. I don't have to answer your question, but I just want you to try to think about it for a little bit and think about the fact that you have an 8-year-old and a 16-year-old who go to school and have roots in a place for 5-6 months, and you're a single adult who can much easier negotiate a move than 3 people if you're not getting along. In any event, I don't have to get involved with that. I want to hear about this money that you allegedly gave him, when it was, and what it was for, and then I'll hear about the assault.
Okay. So in August of 2018, Mr. Cortez had a ticket of $700 that had accrued while he was incarcerated.
Were you living together at the time?
We weren't. We were reestablishing our relationship.
But you weren't living together?
No.
Okay.
So we went to the courthouse to pay that money. They said it had to be cash. He didn't inform me of that and said he didn't have cash and asked me to go to the ATM, which I did. I had already had some money on me, so I only withdrew $200, but brought the money back, and he promised to pay it back when he got on his feet. That was in order to get him a license so he could go to work.